Hello, gamers. Thank you for joining us today for another nasty series between WOAH Chills and EBOY Entourage. I am Frightfully Fresh, joined by Dropletto.
That's me.
That is him. We're starting things off. This looks like a very WOAH Chills comp, if you will. You know, you got ZZZ on the X, character notably weak by Dropletto, Taco on the Rune, and Isla Lyra playing the signature Rasmus. How do you feel about EBOY Entourage's team?
Well, I will say their comp is very, very interesting. I mean, of course, Luna Brawler isn't exactly something that you see a lot. It's one of the more common, like, unorthodox Brawler picks. But on this start, I don't think Luna's particularly strong at the stagger, and ZZZ is on X with bulk. Oh my god, with bulk up, which, as we can see, has already picked up 2 kills already, and he was just kind of run over this game.
Starting things off bloody, you know, it's a bulk up start. Pretty much every character on both teams has bulk up. There's gonna be a lot of damage coming out. Taco is gonna be doing a lot of banishing. ZZ is gonna be putting people in their own net off the walls, and Isla's gonna be confirming kills with that hook. So then you got the other team doing Imi things, doing Finny things, doing Luna things. There's nothing special really about the thing that they're doing other than scoring here potentially, and no, they are unable to get it in.
Yeah, I think, oh my god, good ultimate coming out from Chicken Jockey, almost scoring a point, but Taco using his rune to great effect, almost using all these pillars to put it in, but it's very scary, almost rolling past earlier, barely misses, but oh my god, okay. Yeah, I will say, I want to point out earlier that I think this team on EBOY Entourage has a lot more opportunity to kind of take like random opportunities. Basically every character has some way on their team to kind of put it in if the core ever manages to like get out, like sometimes with luck, but the character like X isn't able to kind of, he has to play the long game. The longer these points go on, the more opportunities they will have with ZZ racking up tons of damage with the wand bulk up.
Rasmus running up, getting hit by the Luna Rocket, going to be unable to defend with the hit stun, and it's going to take the barrier and put him in a really put her in a really precarious situation, but she's going to be able to defend it away with the help of Taco's pillar. I can't remember the name of it, and there you go, Chicken Jockey dashing up, intercepting the pass, and putting it in. EBOY up 2-0.
Yeah, like one unfortunate misclear coming out from earlier, passing Taco when a strike was on cooldown, and Luna is just kind of able to put it in. Any mistakes you make against this Luna character just goes so far, and in a comp with where your brawler kind of isn't coming back very often, you kind of have to be on your toes on defense.
Rune X, you know, setting up the pressure. Isla Lyra staying behind in order to kind of secure something, and off the drum, there you go. Taiko Temple at its best. WOAH Chills is going to be bringing it back 1-2.
Yeah, great opportunity there. Kind of actually forcing out everyone there. I mean, the wand on X is going to be getting so much value this game. As you said earlier, Fresh, everyone's going to be on the bulk up, which means this wand value is going to be even higher than it is per usual. And X is going to look like he's going to be doing way more damage than usual, but barely missing the kill on the X. But a beautiful double advantage coming from Taco, only securing 1 barrier, but they're able to trap out on the side, and so many abilities coming out the side EBOY Entourage, but just no like brawler to secure it again. They're kind of looking for so many opportunities, maybe even looking to try and find a kill on ZZ or Taco, but forced to spend the flip to get it out.
It really seems like they're putting it forward and then just kind of putting a lot of pressure on the enemy goalie, Isla Lyra, in order to try and secure something from there. You know, Finny's really good at that. Imi's really good at that. Luna's really good at that. And I think given enough time, as you said, like, X is going to be an issue. But also, when we get into overtime, it's going to be a lot harder for Rasmus to defend, especially against characters where they don't really have to stand in his range. You know, they can kind of choose how they want to interact with the core. Like right here, Rasmus really doesn't have much to do there other than kind of like walk up and try to primary and hope that Serapi doesn't clear it away in time.
But a great corner offense going on ZZ and Taco, just kind of keeping it in for the X to get a great ult in. And it's so scary for the side EBOY Entourage. There's 2 flips on the side of WOAH Chills, and ZZ often just use his flip to put it in against 3 characters who just don't really have the deep defensive options that a character like Atlas, who was banned by the way, might have.
Yeah, we can talk a little bit about the bans. You know, it's a very damage-heavy comp start, or damage-heavy comp for both teams, and then obviously a damage-heavy start with bulk up being up. But both Now and Atlas were taken out, so neither team really had the option in order to kind of opt for that healing play style, you know. You either live by the damage or you die by it, is kind of how these teams are both playing.
Yeah, they kind of both agree. It's like opt into this damage. I mean, both teams, luckily here, have committed to it. Like both super high damage on both sides, possibly maybe a little bit lower from the side of WOAH, with the Rune not commonly being seen as a damage character, but the Rune Vanish, hey, that can take out a lot of health in just a quick second, which might be all ZZ needs to find a kill. But barely getting past, and the Vanish not able to find a kill for Taco, and both sides looking extremely low. This point can really go either way right now.
Yeah, the overwhelming offense from the side of EBOY Entourage is going to be really hard to defend, and Isle's going to be able to clear it away. But yeah, I mean, they keep hitting the core forward, and it just kind of stays on their side. They're not able to clear it out, and boom, there you go. Serapi was able to kind of take advantage of that core that was hitting to open space, you know, playing Imi, able to glitch pop it kind of any which way that they want to, and they're able to seal the deal. EBOY up 1 set.
Yeah, a great reaction coming out from Serapi there, and it's now because of it, granted an MVP pickup for this set, and there's a lot of great awakenings here, especially if you're looking at damage. A Stinger, it could be a huge pickup, especially the knife from the ZZZ. But hey, everyone knows nowadays, this team player awakening could be pretty disturbing if Taco can get some great passes between him and his teammates.
Yeah, I almost feel like team player on this map in particular, especially on the midfielder, is a lot harder to utilize because the drum's going to be in your way pretty often. However, I'm pretty interested to see how Taco is going to kind of take advantage of the team player pickup. It looked really strong on the Rasmus, but Isla really wanted that prime time in order to either deny it away from someone else, or honestly, it's just really good on Rasmus as well. So I think it was a pretty good draft by both teams.
Yeah, I will say that the only awakening I'm a little odd to see picked up is an Among Times coming from there. Of course, it's very strong on the Finny for a lot of all the speed it grants, but Luna and Amy aren't really two characters that are known for getting that much value out of size. Both getting bigger secondaries, of course, bigger strike box. So it's not as much value as someone like Taco picking up size, which could have been huge for both X and Rasmus. But we'll just have to see how this plays out with the side of EBOY to Entourage keeping the possession for so long, and able to keep it in despite Taco's efforts, but one out. And ZZ's in this corner with Taco, but barely gets out once again. But an unfortunate missed strike from ZZ isn't able to secure the point. And this core is just going everywhere right now.
This is a masterclass defense by IDC. They are unable to get it in past her. You know, I mean, you were talking about the speed on the Finny. I don't think that matters at all. Look how fast this character is. Perpetually Naruto running at all times. And they're going to try to go for an offensive attempt. That's going to be easily cleared away by Isla, kind of holding on to that flip. It's going to be really hard to score on her in this moment. But, you know how Tycho is. Things can go bad very quickly.
Sometimes you lose the track of the core for just a second and just goes flying because of how fast these drums hit it. But Serapi's looking extremely low. The core barely flying by ZZ. There's the team player starting to come out right now. The score is just so red. But it manages to get past Taco, and it's now Serapi has control, but a great clear down. Chicken Jockey opting to pop the flip, and things are just so scary. Lyra, so many projectiles are coming out at her, and Chicken Jockey's able to scare it with a great placed primary.
I didn't even see the primary. Like that was a jump scare for me. Like I was not defending that whatsoever. That was very well done by Chicken Jockey.
But yeah, I mean, this core, like we said, that with the side of EBOY kind of wants to take like these fast interactions where all the characters can kind of just react with their ranged abilities, but team player from Taco is just not giving them that many options. The core is just getting it's going out so fast for the side of WOAH that they're kind of able to just kind of start their own possession so quickly before anyone can even react to the core. An unfortunate bounce coming out from there, kind of unclearing the ball, and with Taco down, this might just be the EBOY Entourage is looking to secure this point, but oh, great flip. Hook.
I get excited every time I see a Rasmus hook like that. It always brings such joy to my heart. They're trying to kill ZZZ, and you know what? They're successful in it. X, not really known for having a lot of abilities to kind of move around quickly, so it's going to be much easier to do than other characters. I'm sure you're well aware of that. And the overwhelming offense, again, from EBOY Entourage, they're able to kind of pass it in front of Isla and Taco the entire time. They're unable to clear it out, and hey, given enough time, their cooldown's going to come back and they're going to be able to dash it in.
Yeah, I mean, 2 kills at that point came out from the side of the EBOY Entourage. I mean, the Stinger and 1-2 punch pickups are looking very huge for the side of EBOY Entourage, and when you can get a power play with these 3 characters, it can just be so hard for the amount of options they can cover, especially with the passes. Again, just the glitch pop covering so many options. That's kind of the collapsing from these characters, just looking so scary. But a great bench coming out from Taco, and ZZ's putting up the damage. If they're able to keep the score in the corner for long enough, I mean, look at that X primary. Beautiful from ZZ. 3-man primary.
Yeah, I know I just mentioned the Rasmus. Oh, that was unfortunate. I know I just mentioned the Rasmus hook, but I'm sure you get really excited when it hits a primary on all 3 targets.
Yeah, I mean, a triple primaries, especially with that wand, it's so nice.
Oh, it's so much damage. But unfortunately, moves again to the EBOY Entourage side. Who honestly, this draft is looking very scary. EBOY Entourage having the Finny, having the Luna, having the Aimee. You have things here like Extra Special, Deadeye, Monumentalist. I feel like this is going to be kind of like mostly on WOAH chills to kind of pick up a lot of options to take some of that damage away. Or honestly, it looks like they're just kind of opting to play their own game plan. Take Rasmus on size. The Extra Special falls to the rune. They're good. I think both teams actually came out of this pretty well with the draft.
Yeah, a lot of damage on the side of EBOY Entourage. Deadeye and Heavy Impact on 2 characters were already doing a lot of damage at that point. It could become very scary. But you know what I saw? I saw Extra Special Rune. And that Awakening on that character is so annoying. It just kind of takes out so many evades. And maybe to find a double barrier at that point. I couldn't tell you if that was Extra Special, but I'm going to tell you that it is anyways.
Hey, that looked like a wonderful Extra Special, the way that Taco hit the ball. There was no way that was going in that direction without Extra Special. IDC unfortunately whiffing their strike. I'm pretty sure the size had something to do with it, but hey, you have to give up something in order to get all that speed on the Finny. And sure. I think most players would gladly opt for it. IDC is definitely taking advantage of that very well, kind of moving up and applying pressure as much as they can.
For sure. And a unfortunately missed dash from Chicken Jar, kind of losing possession, and when not having the core means that Serapi's just taking so much damage right now, kind of being run down by Illyria. And an unfortunate miss from the rune means that the kill on Serapi is not going to be found. An unstaggered Aimee and a great banish coming out from IDC, but from downtown, ZZ with the Superman X manages to find a kill on IDC, forcing the power play. I mean, X would flip in this corner, a wonderfully placed strike from ZZ, and with Chicken Jockey missing their dash from the other side of the field, this could just be terrible for the side of EBOY Entourage.
And it looks like they're able to regain their footing, setting up the Aimee turret, which unfortunately the core kind of rolled past. But hey, they're able to kind of get back on their footing again. As long as they don't get banished, as long as they don't get Superman punched off the wall, things are going to look pretty nice for them on defense.
Yeah, a great primary from earlier, kind of getting it past both IDC and Serapi, managing to kind of steal, I wouldn't say steal that point, but able to find a goal. And these kind of getting these plays out, these core out so quickly, again, is what is so hard for these ranged characters to kind of deal with. It's just so hard for them to react with. All their abilities having kind of a wind-up they need to react to. And a wind-up is something that Rune Second doesn't have. Dodging the kill from Serapi and kind of getting 2 abilities out for press 1. But, oh, Bondu Finny managing to save that barrier. And flips are coming out from the side of EBOY, deciding to opt to go all in for this barrier, but aren't able to secure it. And ZZ actually managed to find a double barrier of his own. And things are looking very good for the side of WOAH chills right now.
Yeah, ZZ taking that Super Surge Awakening is really getting a lot of value. I know that was like the first draft that ZZ got it on, but I feel like a lot of the barriers that are getting taken now are kind of because of that, killing IDC, just kind of a surprise take of the barrier by dashing up. And unfortunately, they kind of lost control of the core there. And you know how it can be on maps like this, it bouncing around, and it ended up going into WOAH chills' net.
That might have been the most unfortunate series of Tycho bounces of all time. I'm not gonna lie. They're just unfortunately out of position. They're too busy trying to kill Serapi there, and was caught without anything to save the core rolling past her. But hey, the damage game plan from WOAH is looking pretty great for the side of ZZ. But one random kill from a Lunar Rocket with the bulk up 1-2 punch and Deadeye is all that the side of EBOY needs to kind of just find a kill on Taco, and their Rasmus is now being forced to play this scary defensive situation alone.
Yeah, Isla Lyric correctly identifying that the clear needed to happen away from IDC because the card was coming out. But unfortunately, it was a little overwhelming, and she was unable to keep the core out for much longer before Taco was able to come back up. Hey, this could be it. This is match point right here. I think EBOY Entourage are looking really good right here, especially with the almost double barrier taken right here. But if there's any team that I know that can definitely come back from this, it's a team with these 3 on it: Taco, Isla Lyra, and ZZZ. ZZZ, I'd never seen this guy worry. It could be set 5.5, and he's just kind of like bobbing, listening to some beats. He's having a good time.
Hey, this guy knows he's got a game plan, and he knows if he can, if his game plan go on for long enough, he's gonna win.
His game plan is be big, be X, hit it in.
Oh, let's be
You know
clear.
how it
He's not
is.
hitting the core. He's hitting them. And the plan has come into fruition. Managed to secure the kill on Serapi, but Taco is actually the one to go down as well. Lara and ZZ are now on defense against this Luna character, trying to get the ball up to IDC for Chicken Jockey. And Finny with the flip is trying to run in there. But they do manage to secure there with a strong Luna secondary. And bit of a scary situation for X. I'm going to pop the flip to get it out. And Chicken Jockey attempts to find the secondary to the top side, blocked by the Rune Pillar. And the core is just so red right now. Taiko Temple is showing how fast this map can be played out.
And they're able to find a kill before I was about to say Sorcerer Supreme being one of their starters. Before Chicken Jockey is able to kind of dash in and put it in, they're able to take him off the field. And I'm very interested to see what they're going to kind of do with this power play. It looks like Taiko is doing Taiko things, and the course is kind of bouncing around. They're unable to kind of gain core control. You know, Chicken Jockey taking advantage of that, trying to put it in, but Ilira is able to put it away. And ZZZ getting the core and able to do some magic with it with the help of Taco Pillars. We are now on set 4. Looking real good.
Yeah, no idea how that Rune Pillar bounced to make it end up in ZZ's hands like that, but greatly played from Taco, kind of using that pillar to keep possession here. And that's our 2 sparks coming up in this draft. Both Taco and Serapi have opted to take spark on this start. I will say, I don't think leadership is right, though. I think that awakening is a little weak still. I won't lie.
I have to be in agreement with you. There's another awakening here that I have. Oh, and it goes to ZZZ, the Orb Replicator. I feel like this awakening is Giga Thanos right now, to put it lightly. It is so good. 3 orbs is basically a flip's worth of energy for your entire team. It's crazy.
Yeah, and when you're against like this Luna, I mean, having a flip up more often is just so important, especially when you need to evade all these things, especially with, again, all these ranged abilities. Like, you don't want to be getting hit by any really of their abilities, like the Luna primaries, the dash punches from Amy, and of course the Luna Infinity ults. That this Orb Replicator might be what the side of WOAH Chills needs to just kind of get their heads back in the game after taking this set.
Yeah, it's a very heavy creation comp in a sense. I know Luna technically is not a creation herself. Wonderful kill by the WOAH Chills combo of ZZZ and Taco. But I know Luna's not really a creation, but she kind of is. Like, she puts the nuke down, and that's just kind of space that's denied in the same way that another creation would be. So whenever I see the core kind of end up on the side of WOAH Chills, it's really hard to defend because they just have all these things kind of in their way. I really like that flip from Ilira, kind of able to hit it around and then put the primary on top and put some damage on the enemy team. ZZ able to do some cleanup afterwards and take a barrier, and successfully defend away when the core rolls back to their side.
I'll point out that ZZ is actually keeping his eyes open for any orbs that you've been able to pick up. I think he's already gotten 2 this point. And not only are these orbs generating so much energy for his team with Orb Replicator, but it's also denying healing and energy from the other team. And when you're on the X, I mean, look at ZZ right now, kind of hunting for the kill on Amy. This energy is something you can get out of X. It is just so valuable for her. But a great glitch pop here on the side of Serapi, just finding a kill on Taco to kind of start a power play from behind. But the damage coming from ZZ is still super scary, so we have kind of having to be out of the play. But a great strike we're coming out from Chicken Jockey, and then both sides have no barriers, but double banish coming out from Taco. IDC's forced to defend alone for a moment there. Taco manages to get the core back, and ZZ almost hitting it back with his primary, but a great kill found and a shot to the bottom side. ZZ managed to secure the 2nd point, and it's looking like WOAH Chills are really doing like great work to take back this game that was looking kind of bad before this.
That extra special in the rune is putting in work. Chicken Jockey and Serapi doing really well, just kind of holding the core. But all Taco has to do is walk up, use the banish ability, and unfortunately that's a double barrier from against Ilira. It was a very good pressure from Serapi and Chicken Jockey. Very overwhelming. It's exactly what you kind of need to do in order to beat out someone like Rasmus.
Yeah, Rasmus kind of usually seen as a pick to deal with all these like melee brawlers. Could possibly struggling a little bit here against the double range, and Rasmus, his primary is just too slow, unable to catch the dash secondary coming out from Chicken Jockey. And if they're able to find faster points like this, trying to get past Rasmus before he has a chance to do anything, the EBOY might be able to get past Ilira and look for more like these fast doubles they've been getting recently.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the patience from Chicken Jockey, and honestly, the entire side of EBOY Entourage. Unfortunately, yeah, I do this all the time. I hate this. This is why I always tell Brickbat I do not want to cast, because things like this happen. I feel bad now. Really good patience from EBOY Entourage, but WOAH kind of able to run them down, get the core on their side of the field, and they're unable to clear it out in time. And now we're moving on to set 5.
Yeah, I believe it might have been, again, among Titans, a small bit of size that you lost. The movement speed just not enough to make up for that lost strike range there. But Taco is picking up a third spark, even with the, we called lesser pickup on the leadership here. Getting X a bit like 20 power, especially when he's picking up the Adrenaline Rush now. I mean, ZZ is already finding a lot of kills. Might be able to completely take over this game with one Adrenaline Rush proc to snowball it all.
I know I did some yapping earlier, but I really don't feel like there's a single draft here that went one specific way or another. Like, I feel like that draft was incredible for both teams. ZZZ
sure.
Getting the Adren Rush, it's kind of able to put a lot of damage on the enemy team, and then, you know, if they secure a kill, it's going to work out really well for them. But the enemy team, yeah, I keep calling the enemy team EBOY Entourage. I apologize profusely.
Hey, they're
You're
red
not the enemy
side.
team.
Red
You
means
are
bad.
the EBOYs. You know, there's nothing an enemy about EBOYs. ZZZ wants to put it in regardless, though.
Yeah, I mean, X is looking so balanced at that point, just holding down the W key towards Chicken Jockey, and ZZ is kind of just able to run down anyone that he can get close to. A lot of damage awakenings, and of course, the wand pickup on this X just means that if given enough time, X is kind of able to just kill anyone with all his abilities and so many heavy hits, but the Double Barrier coming out from the side of EBOY, and Chicken Jockey, the Ghost for Dash is unable to get it, but the core manages to find their way back up the field. And ZZ looks for the kill on IDC, but is unable to find the strike into the flip. And a double ranged attack coming from the EBOY, I think. But Taco is unable to get it up the field. Chicken Jockey, a great back pass. That's Serapi there. Just kind of keep possession away from both Taco and ZZ. But ZZ's looking to start his own offense. Great held strike. Taco went back down, unfortunately missing the X dash to get the core. But
Yeah,
they're able to get the core out.
Yeah, Taco was trying to defend alongside Illyria for as long as possible, was really unable to. Just kind of how slow Rune is. And Luna and Imi are kind of able to run around. But it doesn't really matter because Imi has, you know, basically a mid-screen dash, especially if they have a dash awakening, which in this specific circumstance they do. But yeah, I mean, able to kind of like leap forward even if you're kind of on the back foot and just able to secure the goal. We're up 1-1 on set 5.
Yeah, but extra special really looking to already start this point off strong with a strong extra special start. But Taco, no HP left, is forced to kind of fall back with the flip. Not trying to lose that right now, but power, 201 power on Erasmus, just setting the core parameter red immediately to get the first pair. And again, I mean, Erasmus is looking so weak right now, but he's almost actually ongoing with that secondary. A great extra special bandage coming out from Taco, and if ZZ can find a kill on this Imi, this Adrenaline Rush might be able to let him win this point on the spot.
Oh, the Tycho lending Serapi an extra little hand, but it doesn't really matter. It's easy for you. He is going to get the kill. Illyria with the hot shot is able to kind of put the core forward, you know, red core every single time Primary hits it. And it's going to be really hard for characters like Luna and Finny to defend against like a fast core like that, you know. I think those are characters that kind of struggle in overtime. But hey, you know, Serapi once again kind of capitalizing on core positioning with the Imi dash and able to take a barrier away from Illyria.
Yeah, whenever the core is on this side for the EBOYs, it's so scary for WOAH, but unfortunately, the Tycho bounces, just sends the core up so fast past Chicken Jockey, past IDC, and up to ZZ, who was ready in position in front of the net, and kind of manages to kind of, I feel like, steal that point away. I think it's looking so bad for the side of WOAH there.
I feel like every single time I cast Tycho, it's just saying, unfortunately, over and over and over again, IDC able to defend perfectly, but unable to kind of defend against the relentless pressure of WOAH. That was wonderful pressure from them, and the ultimate for IDC almost saving it there was beautiful. Like I'm very impressed by that.
For sure. I will say, I believe that WOAH did a great job at kind of taking advantage of all the core speed they had. I mean, of course, they all had a lot of power because Bulk Up is a mighty balanced awakening, but the hot shot earlier and the team player on Taco, in addition to all the Tycho drums, just meant the core was able to get past these ranged characters so quickly without any like melee goalie or melee brawler to just kind of keep the core like in a safe spot. They're kind of able to just kind of find all these goals kind of out of nowhere.
100%, and we will be back with Atlas Lab in a second.
And we are back now onto game 2 on the Atlas's lab. And kind of an inverse of what we saw last game. WOAH Chill's opting to now be playing triple range themselves, and Chicken Jockey now, or EBOY Entourage now with the ones that have picked up their rune, but this time on the goalie position. But on this Deadeye start, I mean, everyone knows that magical things happen on Deadeye start. We're in for an outstanding game here.
It's going to be magical things for both teams. I mean, we were all familiar with ZZZ playing the... I mean, there you go. All right, well, as I was saying, but I really want to see kind of what IDC can do with the rune. I was really impressed with the Finny last game. It was a bit unfortunate that they weren't really able to get the win there in the end. But, you know, I think as long as she plays the rune kind of similarly to the Finny, like, I'm pretty excited with how this is going to go.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this game is already off to like kind of an explosive start. ZZ finding that kill so early, and Taco finding a kill with the Estelle primary with Deadeye, and ZZ kind of ran out of the point, kind of like a headless chicken, staggered the entire time. But Taco is able to put it in with the Crystal Thorns, scoring the first point from the side of WOAH Chills.
ZZZ has a bit of the living gene. You know, you think you can take ZZZ out, but you never really can. Nobody knows death better. Or you know what? Serapi might know death a little bit better, but nobody might know death better than ZZZ except in that one particular moment. Setting up the turret, kind of able to put up a lot of pressure. It's gonna be really hard for Isla to clear it out, but she makes it look so easy. That was beautifully done. Buying enough time for Taco to come up, and they're gonna be able to clear it out easily with Taco's assistance.
It was great demons coming from the layer, and the demons just kind of keeping up, and ZZ using the Atlas Lab black hole to actually secure the kill. Now we've got a bit of a waiting game, waiting out the rune primaries. And Chicken Jockey's looking for their own kill on ZZ, now holding down to one more evade. And of course, Zentaro, I mean, it's a little bit hard to get around not dying to Zentaro, but Chicken Jockey now trying to start his own offense with the flip. And rotating to the other side, Taco trying his hardest to keep it away from Chicken Jockey with great flips to kind of buy time ZZ to come back. And now it is actually Chicken Jockey the one who is now staggered. He's looking for this kill to kind of take on this point.
Yeah, this might be EBOY's map in particular, but you would not be mistaken in thinking that it's WOAH Chills' map. Just kind of with how they're playing around the black hole. Doing very well with it. I know it's a very popular map, but... And there you go, ZZ kind of able to take advantage of that loose core kind of floating around in open space and able to secure the point there. I feel like IDC and Serapi are kind of figuring out defense. That point looked a lot better, and I have no doubts that they're going to be able to bring this back.
Right, but no matter how good you can be at defense, if WOAH Chills can just find their kills, the power plays, you can only survive for so long. Only so many abilities you can have to kind of keep ZZ at bay. They're doing a great job at kind of keeping the core up, which is what I think EBOY needs to look for. Just kind of keep the core in possession so that ZZ can't find these kills that he's looking for. But a great reversal coming out from the side of Serapi, kind of finding the kill when ZZ missed his own. Lyra kind of bouncing back, finding her own kill on the great, and great defense from both Taco and Lyra, and kind of looking a bit of a stalemate, both the top areas down for each side.
I know we're like, you know, weeks past the patch discussion at this point, but this game is so much more fun to watch with everyone just dying left and right. Like I have a big old grin on my face just seeing all these nukes dropping, you know, talking about ZZZ killing someone and then just watching him die from Serapi instead. A lot of offense being brought out by the Zentaro and the Ivy and able to kind of sneak it past. You know, I don't believe Isla saw the core kind of go wide, and they were able to score a goal because of it. It was very well done on the offense.
Yeah, they kind of struck it through ZZ there, but unfortunately ZZ got hit away while staggered. They kind of just rolled past there because of it. But it was great offense with that EBOY Entourage. Now looking to kind of get their own black hole being popped. ZZ got a great pass up from ZZZ to Taco. They're able to keep the first barrier defended, and this Zentaro is looking to start their own offense, striking through Taco so many times. And ZZ, hey, look at that orb munching. It's like orb replicator never left. I saw that.
ZZ playing his own little mini game, hungry hippos, trying to get as many orbs as possible while his team kind of defends. And he's not just doing that. He's also kind of looking for those little dash punch kills. He doesn't really play Juliet, you know, the same way other people do. You know, other people typically lock in Juliet on the character select screen. ZZ does it after locking in Luna. You know, buying in time, waiting for Chicken Jockey to go down, and because of that, it's going to have a lot of offense and really good power play from their team. But unfortunately, core kind of going wide. The passes might be a little...
Oh my god.
Oh, I don't even know what just happened.
It's a Deadeye start. That's what happened.
Yeah, that's so true. Power play for both teams. And ZZZ is going to try and make sure, with the help of Islalir, going to make sure that it stays a power play in their favor.
ZZZ is on the prowl right now, looking for all of these kills, just getting so much value out of both the Luna and, of course, the Pummeler's speed. Now looking for the kill, and IDC opted to drop the nuke on it. But a great glitch bomb from Robbie, just smacking the core back in past Alir's strike. And we're now looking at the set point.
Yeah, but the core kind of going wide constantly for both teams, and then both teams being able to capitalize on the moments. WOAH Chill's kind of trying to do that by killing, and then you have EBOY Entourage kind of doing it by throwing out things like Imi Glitch Pop or wonderful flips such as that one. Both teams kind of have their own style here, and it's really kind of interesting to see how the two styles are meshing in this particular moment.
Yeah, but the side of EBOY Entourage, I mean, this core is being kept in this corner so scarily. And it's unfortunate stun on their rune it keeps them from getting back, and a great nuke from ZZ secures the point. Great control from Taco there, just kind of keeping the core up while both hitting everyone on the side of EBOY Entourage.
Yeah, I thought for sure that EBOY was going to be able to clear that core out and make some magic happen with it, but I was proven wrong. Wonderful hit stun onto IDC, kind of make sure that that's going to go in.
Yeah, Cash Slash coming out from the Kai. But also, of course, I mean, Orb Replicator's back. Favorite Awakening, Cedar play. Maybe ZZ's gonna pick it up, you know? Wait, let's see this. Oh, he's totally gonna take it.
He's he's taking it. I'm sure that ZZ shares my love of this away. Nothing else here really jumps out at me as something crazy. I think heavy impact going to the Estelle is going to make it so her cooldowns are a lot lower. But that was 3 sparks that just kind of got tossed out right there. You know, one went to Chicken Jockey just kind of because they didn't really have any other option. But that's going to really have an impact later in the game when there are no sparks available, especially if they get spark focus.
Oh, did you see that?
I did see it. Every single time I have a separate thought, you know, ZZ just jump scares. It doesn't only jump scare the opponent, but also jump scares me.
Yeah, I mean, execution coming out from ZZ, just kind of taking out Chicken Jockey, just disappearing and finding the goal after the end of the power play. I mean, is Orb Replicator the best damage awakening in the game? Sources are pointing to yes.
Orb Replicator might be the best damage awakening in the game. I don't even know if ZZ got any orbs that point, but like it doesn't matter. Wonderful hit stun from ZZZ trying to put Serapi into the center of the ult, and it's going to be able to take them out. It's looking really oppressive for the side of EBOY Entourage. I'm sure they're going to be able to bring it back, possibly in the next draft, or maybe even here with some wonderful vanishes. But the power, it's just so overwhelming with all these passing plays and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, ZZ's been able to secure like an early kill so quickly, but I would say he's been comboing his damage very well with both Taco and Illyria. I mean, the first point, of course, like primary into Giga was that. I mean, that was insane. But Taco is finding a lot of damage on this stuff, and ZZ just knows his damage ranges with the Deadeye so well that once you're able to get staggered, if he knows, he's just hunting for that kill.
I kind of want to see like a horror movie just featuring ZZZ. Just like he's just the most kind person I've ever talked to, and then you just watch him play this game. He's just, you know, he's such a monster. He just goes on killing sprees. The Black Hole,
cold-blooded killer.
Cold-blooded killer. Black Hole kind of taking the core away from defense for the side of EBOY Entourage, able to bear on WOAH Chills. And during this time where the core's kind of floating around in open space, they're going to try and put as much damage onto ZZZ and Chicken Jockey at the same exact time. This is a bloodbath. This is Freddy versus Jason. This is ZZZ versus Chicken Jockey. And you know what? I'm buying 2 tickets to that movie.
Yeah, but at the end of this bloodbath, it is actually the side of WOAH Chills coming out on top, and a great strike coming out to ZZZ, and Serapi going down to Taco. I mean, the damage game plan coming out from WOAH Chills is just looking so oppressive right now. I mean, all these kills, and I will say the energy economy. I mean, of course, Orb Replicator, he has so many flips for damage. You know, best damage awakening for sure.
Yeah, seeing team player on this draft, it's going to look really good. I'm sure that Taco is looking to pick up the team player. There are some other options here that are really good for Taco. For example, I think X Special and Hotshot. However, I think that team player might just kind of secure the game for them at that point. The core's just going to be moving so fast, and there it is. Especially on a team like Rune and Imi, where a lot of their moves are kind of predictory, if that makes sense, where they have to kind of predict where things are going to go and set up their abilities ahead of time. Moving the core as fast as Taco's going to be able to now is going to make it really hard to defend and catch the core.
I mean, the main thing I see from this trap, I mean, as we already saw, the Luna Nuke coming out immediately because of this extra special pickup. This is going to be so rough on the damage economy, and when ZZ is stealing all these orbs and providing so much energy for his team, like this extra special could be what. I mean, great kill coming up from the side of WOAH Chills. Again, no energy to evade that because we're forced to evade all these nukes. If we're out of energy, we just get to play the game so much less.
Yeah, as I said earlier, like you would never expect that this map would be the one picked up by EBOY themselves. Just kind of with how WOAH Chills are kind of playing it, it's just putting a lot of damage on and really using that black hole kind of masterfully. Lyra is putting a lot of damage out with her ultimate, but also using it to keep the core up, which is kind of making the enemy team scramble. EBOY Entourage in this case, I don't know why I keep calling the enemy team. Don't listen to me. But yeah, able to keep the core up, and you know the enemy team has to kind of scramble for it. I did it again, and the core goes into the net. This is looking a little rough for EBOY Entourage.
Yeah, but that was a beautiful strike from ZZ, getting it right past the max range of Rune Primary. It was sliding into the top side. And by the way, extra special, the Luna ult is up. All it takes is kind of one evade coming off someone at the wrong time, and that's basically half your health bar gone. Or just in these tight corners where it just covers so much space, and Chicken Jockey is out to Sliver Pro, but a great dash much or from Amy there. And I would like to point out that Serabi's gone from level 6 to level 8 in the past 10 seconds. If they can kind of take back this point, as Chicken Jockey does so expertly, and to kind of even take back this set, I mean, these drafts could be so good for the side of EBOY.
And it's not just the drafts, but also the XP. Serapi's going to be a lot harder to kill with all that extra stagger coming in from those 2 level ups. And Chicken Jockey even getting the 1 low level up is going to be a lot in order to keep them alive as well. Immediately putting damage on the ZZ, kind of removing him from the game right off the bat. And it's going to be really hard for WOAH Chills to defend without their little dash puncher kind of on the sidelines. And hey, EBOY Entourage really taking advantage of this, putting it top side, but Lyra is able to catch it with the twin drive cast to last Aerial's Kai. Really moving very quickly, and Chicken Jockey trying to put it in is going to be unsuccessful in doing so. I mean, these points are moving so fast now that we're kind of on the last set.
Yeah, but Serapi was only able to stay alive against ZZ hunting them down for so long. And it is now the power play for the side of WOAH Chills, and not only is it looking so scary for the core, but their damage that they're racking up, it just means that they're going to be able to take this play and to kind of take it even further if they can manage to like kind of combo these skills together. And there's the dash to finally secure it, and again back into the power play for the side of WOAH Chills.
And Taco with the team player flip pass right to ZZ, standing exactly where he needs to. He always ends up with load redirects, but it doesn't mean that he's not doing anything. He's always kind of exactly where he needs to be. The core's moving so incredibly fast right now, and EBOY Entourage are able to put out so many abilities to try and catch it, but they're going to be unsuccessful in doing so just because Kai is moving so fast, has this barrage in order to kind of catch the core before it can get into the net. There's a huge scramble kind of in the middle, you know, all this damage kind of coming out, and in the meantime, all these abilities being thrown out in order to try and score, and it turns out the best forward on EBOY Entourage might in fact be ZZZ, whose ultimate was able to put the core into WOAH Chills' net.
Yeah, kind of beautiful how well that shot was placed. My Luna's ultimate just kind of put in a spot that earlier is completely out of reach. But I mean, hey, some things never change, and here's another kill to the board of WOAH Chills. Just kind of, again, this damage game plan is taking it a little hard, and it's very rough for the side of EBOY Entourage. They're playing a lot of low health characters, and they're just not able to keep the core up for long enough to kind of like deny possession, but it's kind of allowing them to be hit so often.
Just like that. Like, however, on the opposite side, it looks like EBOY Entourage secure the kill there. All these characters like are being able to leap forward and kind of take advantage of the core being in open space. And this is kind of reminiscent of last game with Taiko Temple. You know, WOAH Chills was looking a bit rough, and they were able to bring it back. This might be the case for EBOY Entourage. You know, they kind of hit their stride. It's being a lot harder for them to get taken out, and they're really holding onto the core a lot better than they were before. It very well done, kind of adapting in the exact way that they need to. And I might have spoken too soon. There's a little bit of egg scrambles end up in the black hole kind of space, and when they pop the black hole, ended up going in the net. We're on match point right here.
Yeah, and immediately ZZ finds a kill with the extra special Luna ult. Just immediately taking Chicken Jockey off the board, but Sarabi attempting to find a kill in revenge. ZZ's looking low, but that's 2 barriers down. That's type EBOY entourage. But Chicken Jockey is able to find a kill on ZZ, and they're looking to secure the second barrier, and it's just so... I mean, these points just go either way. Again, Deadeye Star, really, whoever can pick up the first kill might be able to take it all the way. Lyra trying to kind of run in and take the point herself. But EBOY is not giving up. They are keeping the score for as long as possible. And another black hole pop from Taco, actually securing the set. I mean, that's 2 points back-to-back with a beautiful use of the black hole. And WOAH Chills has taken the game 2.
I'm getting Vietnam War flashbacks from this, you know, with 2 goals being scored off the black hole, and then last game with that happening on Tycho constantly. It's rough. These maps can be rough at times. I thought both teams played that super well. I was really excited for EBOY to bring it back. Unfortunately, they were unable to do so fully, but I was really impressed with it. I'm really excited to see kind of how they do next week.
難しい言葉などいらないと気づいたんだ